Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm sitting in my car again, taping because it's too loud in the apartment. We have court day number 2, some other updates, and you guys will not believe what I did with that industrial fan. So stick with it. Let's jump in. Let's go. Now we're going to start off today with the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, who became the royal patron of the Mouse-Free Marion Project, and he attended a reception at the South African House in London on March 20th. Way to go, Edward. It's my understanding that this group helps protect fowl and birds. Love it. All right, moving on. Next up, we have Duchess Sophie, who went to a reception of the International Justice Ministers. I can't say that word for some reason. After last week's war crimes conference in support of the International Criminal Court. She met ministers, delegates, and the International Criminal Court prosecutor. Wonderful. All right, moving on. Next up, King Charles was announced as the new Colonel-in-Chief of the Corps of Royal Engineers. This is a position that Queen Elizabeth herself held previously. And on Tuesday, the 14th of March, the King received Lieutenant General Sir Tyrone Urch, I believe is how it's said. He is the Chief of the Royal Engineers at Buckingham Palace. Way to go. Next up, we're going to Princess Anne, who attended the International Financing Review Awards of 2023 approximately 2 days ago. She looked lovely in this dress. Next up, the Princess Royal again went to the official opening of the Suffolk Fire and Rescue Service Princess Street Police and Fire Station. The new facility is in Ipswich, and it's the latest milestone in a big collaborative effort. Way to go. All right, next up we have Andrew, and what happened was Andrew is still a member of the Order of the Garter, and apparently there was a ceremony. Now, in case you guys forgot, when they were bringing more people in, Andrew wanted to participate, and William put his foot down and said, if Andrew's going, I'm not. So they allowed Andrew to go to the luncheon afterwards, but not participate in the parade and all the pomp and circumstance. And so people are saying, but he's still participating behind the scenes, and yeah. Leave the man a bone, huh? All right, next up, a big thank you to this Twitter user who pointed out that there is a children's sticker book that's been put out for the coronation, and guess who's not in it? Very interesting. Everybody else is there, but not those two. Well done. Look at that. Everyone don't make a sound. Look, King Charles is being crowned. That is so cute. All right, moving on. Next up, Tessa Dunlap, you guys. This woman loves Harry. She, when Harry's book was coming out, she goes, ooh, Saturday night, me and Harry in his room, in my bedroom. Anyway, she was sparring with this guy on TV over climate change. And you're not going to believe what she did, okay? I want you to hear what they were saying so you know what occurred. So listen to this.
Parliament, they decide, and we have to obey the law.
Well, they're too slow, and we know why. They've all got their fingers in the fossil fuel.
Do you believe we had to...
The likes of Jacob Rees-Mogg is overseeing the opening of a coal mine. No wonder Phoebe's throwing super aunties. These kids are desperate.
All right. We have
What do you believe?
Should we obey the law? Don't touch me.
Well, sorry,
excuse me. That was an assault. That was an assault.
This woman leaned over on live TV and put her hand over the mouth of the gentleman that she was talking to. Can you imagine? And he's screaming assault, which it is. So he said, don't touch me, that's assault. And she goes, well, I didn't mean to assault you. Yeah. Okay, so I had to bring up what, according to Taz, pointed out, which was exactly spot on. She pointed out, rightfully so, that Louis did that to his mother mid-tantrum at the Jubilee, and everybody went nuts, insinuating he was watching abuse at home. But here, a grown woman does this to a person on live TV. Nothing. Very disrespectful and unprofessional. I agree. So then this woman who always comes down on Harry's side puts out this tweet. Prince Harry has played us like a fiddle. Who saw that coming? What? Well, you saw my response. Like, do you really believe anybody thinks you flip sides? Because, yeah, that didn't happen either. All right, moving on. Now, you know you've become a global laughingstock when Arabic, the biggest Arabic station, does a parody on you. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I wish I could give you a link to watch it, but it really is absolutely hilarious. They do the whole thing, even down to Oprah. Like, it was hilarious. You have to go find it. All right, moving on. All right, next up, just a few small things that came out. Harry and Meghan claw onto the royal family as they lose Hollywood day by day. That is absolutely true, and I've told you guys that before. They have become pariahs. Nobody except people like Ellen DeGeneres, who has also become a pariah, is having anything to do with them. I mean, we all know that. And then this came out. Meghan doesn't want Archie and Lily to see the king because he's responsible for Megxit. So when I see stuff like this, that tells me that all their moaning and whining, the kids did not get an invitation. They're not welcome at the coronation. None of the demands are being met. So they're going to save face by claiming that Meghan doesn't want the kids there. Then I see articles like this. Harry admitted the media is protecting William during the whole romance that supposedly William had with this Rose Hanyuri woman. First of all, there was no romance. It's the person who did it has already admitted it. Okay? Here it is. You can stop, freeze this. I'm going to zoom it in a little bit for you. Read it. British reporter Giles Coven has already admitted he's the one who started the rumor. And he says that, while it was far from being the worst thing I've ever tweeted, I was joking. I know nothing about the royal family. I'd had a boozy lunch. I mean, he admitted it was a made-up lie. So, but for some reason, the Sussex squad want to run with it, and Harry wants to keep on with it to hurt his brother. Now, these two pictures also I wanted to show you because these were up on Twitter, and they show that Harry saw that paparazzi way before he bumped into him, and here he is looking back at him. And to me, that just leads up that it was a setup. All right, let's move on now. Well, you guys remember when Harry went in the front door, he was looking all happy and chipper. Well, here he is, coming out the back door at the end of day one. He does not look happy at all. He looks irritated. He looks perturbed. That could be for numerous reasons. It could be because he heard things in court that he didn't like. It could be because he found out there was a group of people out front getting ready to heckle him, so they put him out the side door. Apparently, he sat in the back between his attorney and the communications chief of Archewell. By the way, he had his ring on both days I looked. Yep. All right. When he showed up for the second day of court, supposedly to try to throw his weight behind it, because you guys do realize he could have done this with a Zoom call, but he didn't. And I think he didn't because this was when his father was supposed to be in France. Remember, the trip was canceled, and he was going to try to grab headlines. Now, as you can see, second day, they went in the side entrance. Nobody was there. Nobody cared. Like, seriously, he could have been anywhere. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants to talk to him. He's like, yeah, he's unimportant. So, of course, though, the same media that he's complaining to, he looked up and was like, stay dry, guys. Trying to be nice to them. I don't understand that at all, especially since he's suing because of them. Now, the king is still not seeing him. And it's not because his father doesn't want to see him. His father can't trust him. We all understand that part of it, don't we? Maybe Harry was upset when he left court after the first day because he found out that the private investigator whose confessions were a big part of the case, he has denied their allegations that he acted illegally against them on behalf of the Daily Mail or the Mail on Sunday. The attorneys provided a signed witness statement where he denies that he had anything to do with that. We have tweets starting in October of 2022 all the way forward to March of 2023 where he's saying that he never did that and that other people were scammed and the statements are doctored. So Prince Harry went after this case because of what he was told, but the investigator is now saying that's not true. Very interesting. Let's see what this does to his case. Now, I want to address something else. This young lady, Baroness Doreen Lawrence, I said that I thought it was kind of sucky that she's suing the newspaper that helped get the conviction for her son's killers because the police botched the job. And several people said, I'm very disappointed in you. Well, this is what is being said all over the internet. And if it's true, I do think it's sucky. She's suing the people who helped get justice for her son. That's my opinion. And now Harry is saying that he's lost friends due to his paranoia over the tabloid stories. He's lost more than friends. He's had girlfriends that have said that he's seen paparazzi where there was none. And he was totally paranoid and fixated. And that's why a lot of their relationships failed. He saw things that weren't there. Now, a blind item came out. We know they're usually pretty spot on. And they're saying that, they didn't think Harry was going to show up because then he'd be with his ex-girlfriend who Meghan hated. But I guess she figured it's okay. Truth is, I think he went there to try to snatch the headlines from Charles. But since the trip got canceled, it doesn't really matter. That's my thought. Now, just as a side note, we all saw these pictures of Harry. Remember, whenever the paparazzi's around him and the snap of the cameras and the flash of the lights, it takes him back. He's got horrible PTSD. He looked just fine walking into court, which is why they then turned around and released this. Now he's claiming that flying to the UK makes him feel tense and triggered and all of this. No, he did not look tense or triggered as he was walking into the courthouse. I'm sorry, he did not. Maybe he felt tense and triggered because he was sitting just 3 chairs away from the journalists that he's claiming are ruining his life and writing lies and hacking and bugging him. Maybe that's what upsets him. All right, here we go. It wouldn't be a case for Harry unless he blamed his family. Of course, this is his family's fault. He said that the family withheld information from him about the phone hacking because they didn't want him to bring a claim because it would open a can of worms. He said, and I quote, "It's not an exaggeration to say that the bubble burst what I knew in 2020 when I moved out of the United Kingdom. There was never any centralized discussion between us about who had brought claims, as each office in the institution was siloed. But there's this misconception that we are all in constant communication, but that's not true. But the institution made it clear we didn't need to know anything about the phone hacking, and it was made clear that the royal family did not sit in witness boxes because that could open up a can of worms." He said that's why we have the strict no comment policy, and even the worst or most suspicious articles were often never brought to my attention. And I am bringing this claim because I love my country, and I remain deeply concerned about the unchecked power, influence, and criminality of the publisher. The British public deserves to know the full extent of this cover-up, and it's my duty to expose it. So he's screaming about privacy, but yet he releases private text messages between Catherine and Meghan and private conversations between him, Charles, and William. Wow. So essentially, Harry is claiming that the royal family conditioned him to believe he couldn't complain about the media. Now, unfortunately for Harry, he wrote The Spare, and they're going to be using his own memoir against him. Now, the big thing is Harry claims that he didn't bring this lawsuit because he didn't know about a lot of the stuff. But the lawyers are saying that Harry's memoir shows he was aware of the phone hacking scandal in the late 2000s that led to closing down of the News of the World. And he was aware of a lot of these things way earlier. Therefore, they're saying that for a lot of his claims, the statute of limitations doesn't even apply. Like, the stuff should be thrown out. That's what you get for writing a tell-all. All right, you guys. Well, we're still flooded. These huge fans they're all over the apartment, including in the bathroom. And have you ever seen how strong one of these fans is? So I got out of the shower, and for hair like mine, although it doesn't look it right now, it really is rather thick and curly, and it takes forever to dry. So I thought, let's try an experiment. So I did this. Watch this. My hair was dry in 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. And man, was it fluffy. And I was like, wow. I said to my husband, how much would it cost to buy me one of these? Because I wouldn't mind using it. Next up, I think I told you that one of my subscribers sent me some news articles on Princess Margaret's wedding. I had them framed. I just picked them up. Don't they look amazing? I can't wait to hang them in my office. And next up also, this picture was sent to me from a subscriber. That's her in the front. That's her late brother in the back there, dressed up. This was at the Queen's coronation. She said they didn't have TVs back then, but they celebrated. How sweet. All right, you guys, you know what I want. Leave those comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of uploads. If you've already hit the button, double check and make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget to go up into the description box and get the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, the physical address I have in case you want to send something to me. For those of you who've donated through my coffee fund and through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.